And then hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar. Very, very happy to see some of you coming. Today we will talk about late application. So it will be the main focus of today's webinars, how to make a late application to Sweden and especially to Linnaeus University. I'll just wait a little bit more and see if there is more people coming in joining. So we wait maybe one more minute. But after that, we will start. And if you have any specific questions, you can write them in the Q&A, or as you find up here as a Q&A symbol. If you don't find the Q&A, it's usually under the three dots, more actions. And if you click down there, you can find the Q&A there. Yes. And I have Sophia and Helena with me that will be helping answering all your questions as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. Oh,
Hello,
okay.
everybody. Just something happened with the chat. You just have to turn it on because now it is off.
Oh, okay. I'll see if I can turn it on then as well. So it's the chat you said that is...
Yes.
Turn on the chat. Is the Q&A working?
Yes. I mean, we don't have any question at all now, but it's working so far. Just the chat is just only says that it is not on.
Yeah, so now I think the chat should be working as well. It's so we just do a last test with Sophia to see if the chat is open and working. Yeah.
Yes, it's
We
working.
got a thumbs up. Great. Yeah, so welcome all of you to today's webinar. And as you can see, today we will be talking about Linnaeus University, and we will be talking about late applications. So the focus today will be late application, and that means for students that hasn't made an application yet, or if you made an application, you made the application after January 15th and you paid a tuition fee, or you uploaded documents after February 2nd. In that case, it's seen as a late application. But first of all, very welcome to today's webinar. We're happy to see you here. And we are a few people joining here today. It's me, Henrik Edlund, that will be guiding you through this session. I'm working at the International Students Recruitment Office, and I work as a communications officer here. With me today, I have Sophia and Helena. Sophia is also working in the same office as I am here at the International Student Recruitment Office, and Helena is a student ambassador sitting and usually studying the master program in tourism management. And right now she's working extra as a student ambassador. So very welcome to have you here. Unfortunately, Stefan couldn't join, but next session we hope that he will be here as well. So what will we talk about today? I will start to talk a little bit about late application, and then we will go over to the documents and paying your application fee now. And also I will talk about how to follow your application now if you're making a late application. And then we'll go through some other information that could be good to know. And if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the Q&A. We will answer all of them at the end, or we will have a Q&A session. Yeah. So first things first, basically. And I will not go in and talk anything about Linnaeus University. If you want to know more about the university or how it is to study in Sweden, we have webinars on that. And you can go on our YouTube channel and find them, or you can go to the Linnaeus University website and look at Meet Us, where you will find all the old webinars where you can learn more about like how it is to study in Sweden, how it is to be an international student here, more information about Linnaeus University, etc. So I will skip all of that today and go directly into the late application part. Yeah, and as we can see here on the timeline, we had an first application round that opened on October 15th. The application was open then for the autumn 2026 intake, and it was open until January 15th, where we had the last day to apply to be an on-time applicant. And then we had 2nd of February, that was the last day to upload supporting documents and last day to pay the application fee for non-EU students. If you did any of these steps later than either applying after January 15th or you uploaded in some documents or paid the application fee after February the 2nd, then you're usually seen as a late application, and that is what we will talk about today. And still today, most of our programs is open for late application, so there is still a possibility to make a late application. For students that made application in time, made everything in time, they will get their selection result 26th of March for master, 31st of March for bachelor studies, and after that we will start sending out the selection result for late applications. So if you make a late application, you would the earliest get the result in the beginning of April. So before that, there will not be any result of your application. So some basic questions that I want to talk about first is, can I still make a late application? Yes, you can. Right now, everyone can make a late application. We have a lot of programs that is still open. You can find them on universityadmissions.se, and we will look a little bit how to make that quite soon. And we usually close the late application round around 15th of April. So make sure that you made an application as early as possible, but no later than 15th of April. For European Union students, they can apply even later than 15th of April, but then they have to apply from another website called antagning.se. So that's a little bit more complicated, and I will not go too much into it. We have a guideline on EU citizens and how they can apply later than 15th of April, but for both students right now, the easiest way is to just apply as soon as possible. When will my late application be reviewed? That is an ongoing process, and we should start to say that first the applications that was in time will be reviewed first, and then the late applications will be reviewed. So it depends a little bit on when you apply, because right now maybe you have to wait a little bit longer since all the applicants in time is reviewed first. But usually 3 to 6 weeks is the time until you have got a review, and you can find like some kind of information on university admissions on your chances on getting in. We will look more at what the statuses will be after you get the review soon in the presentation as well. But as I said, make the application as soon as possible. Because when you apply in time, you apply and you're competing with, as you might know, you're competing with for the selection on GPA, individual assessment, and those kind of things. But for later applicants, it's a first come, first served kind of system. So if you make an application earlier than someone else, then your application will be looked at before that person, and even if that person has a better GPA than you will be admitted first, because it's a first come, first served for the programs that is still open. So first, the students in time gets accepted, and then if the program still has open seats, then we'll take in on a first come, first served basis for the rest of the students. You make the application through a website called universityadmissions.se, and here you can see a screenshot of the website, and you can see the mouse here, find courses. It's easy to just click on that one. And if you click on that one, you'll be able to filter. Here we got it. Yeah, then you will be able to use filters. So you can search based on program names. You can search for keywords. And this is a one-stop shop for the whole Sweden and then admission to all universities in Sweden. So you can filter by university. So if you are interested in applying to Linnaeus University, you can just filter on Linnaeus University and find our programs that is still open for late application. And you can apply to many universities at one time. You can apply for 4 different universities in the master round. So 4 different Swedish universities can be applied to at one time, even now in the late application round. And here is an example of how it looks like when you've clicked on Find Courses. You will see a long list of courses, as you see here to the right. And to the left there, you see the filters where you can filter on courses, programs, which university, what subject you're interested in, if you're interested in bachelor, masters, etc. You can filter and search and find the courses and programs that you're mostly interested in. There is also a filter level there for still open for application, and that is the programs that is still open and possible to apply for. So that's possible to do on university admissions and the university admissions website. And if you find a program you're interested in, you just click select, and then you make an application by signing up at university admissions, choosing the programs by selecting them, and then sending in the application. We have a very good guideline on how to make an application as well. If you haven't seen it, you can go on YouTube and you will get a great view of all the steps on how to make an application. So I would recommend you to do that if you're interested in a step-by-step guide on making an application and how to make that, because it's the same no matter if you're making an application on time or if you're like right now applying late. One thing to remember it is that even though you make a late application, you have to make sure that you're meeting the entry requirements for the program that you're applying for. And the easiest way to find that is to go to our website, the Linnaeus University website. There's also always a link from university admissions to our program website. So if you find a program on university admissions where you make the application and you think that this is an interesting program for me, there's always a link to the program page, and it's good to go there, search for the program, and check out the information available there, and to look at the requirements, because that's still something that you need to meet. So when you found your program, the program page will look something like this. This is the Innovation for Business Engineering and Design program. And if you scroll through that information, you will find the general information on the program, learning everything you might want to know about what kind of program it is. You will be able to read a little bit about the career opportunities, if there is a lot of internship opportunities, study abroad opportunities, etc. Everything you can read there in the general information. There is also a syllabus, so you can see all the courses included in this program and what you can apply. And then we have the entry requirements that I will go into more detail soon, but the entry requirements is written quite clearly here on this website as well. And you can also find the selection results, also something I will go into more in depth soon. But as I said, for late application, selection result is mostly based on first come, first served, as long as you meet the entry requirements. And then you can read about the tuition fee. For non-European Union students, they will have to pay a tuition fee, and you can learn about the fee structure of every program as well on the program page. So for entry requirements, we have divided the entry requirements into a few different parts. General entry requirements, if you're applying for a bachelor program, the general entry requirements are basically that you have finished your bachelor. Sorry, that you have finished high school, so you're eligible for starting a bachelor degree. You have to have the high school diploma when you're applying. For masters, the general entry requirements is that you will finish your bachelor before you start the master program, so you can apply during your last year of studies on your bachelor level. That is quite basically the general entry requirements. Then we have the English requirement, and for almost all our programs, there is a few exceptions. For example, the English language and literature program, they require a little bit higher, but for most other programs, we have an English requirement of English 6, and that is the Swedish English requirement system, and that is equal to IELTS 6.5, no part under 5.5, or TOEFL 90. You can also meet the English requirements from your earlier academic studies. So if you've been studying in an English-speaking country, it's a high chance that you already meet the English requirement. I remember last time we were having this presentation and talking about the English requirement, we got some questions about like if I studied in Malaysia, if I studied in Nigeria, if I studied in UK, USA, like all of these English-speaking countries. Yes, it's okay. You meet the English requirements basically from your bachelor degree or your high school studies in that country. But there can be some exceptions. So that is why we also have the third point here. Country instructions. On university admissions, you can look at country instructions, and there you can see, for example, if my academic studies in the country I studied in before meets the English requirement, or do I need to take an English test? You can also check if you need to take get any attestations on the documents that you're applying with. Do you need any specific stamp or some kind of attestation that is needed to get the documents verified? And for most countries in the world, it's enough to upload the documents that you have, upload an PDF version to university admissions, and by that, sending in the application documents. There is a few countries that we require postal service. Either you have to send the documents by post, or you have to have the university sending from their official email address, sending the documents to university admissions email address. And all of this information is on the university admissions information for country-specific information. And I saw that the link is in the chat. So if you check in the chat, you can find a link to this entry requirements and country instructions, especially. Then last but not least, there is also specific entry requirements for many of our programs. Those you find on the program page. They can either be focusing on that you have to have studied something before. For example, many of our master programs require you to have studied a bachelor in a similar subject, or that you have studied some specific courses. For example, if you're going to study some kind of engineering, they usually have some requirements that you've earlier studied some specific mathematics courses, etc. And all of this is clearly stated in the entry requirements for the program. And some programs also require you to write like a motivation letter, statement of purpose, or if it is a design program, you have to make a portfolio, design portfolio where you show your earlier works. And this leads us into the selection result then. I will not talk too much about it because for late application, this is not as important as it is for the people that is applying in time. But as we can say, you can read the selection requirements on the website. And we basically, for bachelor, we have 3 kinds of selection criteria, either upper secondary education. It's the name of it, and that basically means GPA. So then we only look at GPA. And if you see that the program you're applying for have the selection result, that means that they will require you, even if you studied like bachelor before, but they want to get your high school transcript, you need to send it in because your selection and your admission is based on the GPA from your high school. We also have the aptitude test that is only suitable for students already studying in Sweden and can do the Swedish university entrance exam. So aptitude test basically means the university entrance exam for Swedish students. And usually if that is part of the criteria, we also have upper secondary education. As you can see in this example, 70% of our admitted students will be based on upper secondary education, which means GPA, no matter which country you've been studying in, and 30% from the domestic university entrance exam. So if you're a Swedish student, you have a chance to get in by the entrance exam. And then we have individual assessment. That means that we're looking at GPA, but we also take in other criteria, for example, motivation letter, statement of purpose, or a portfolio. So if you see that the selection is based on individual assessment, that means that you have to upload some more documents. And usually it is a statement of purpose. For master program, the most common is individual assessment. And that's exactly as for bachelor. We look at GPA, but we also include some other documents that needs to be taken into consideration. So statement of purpose or a motivation letter, maybe a CV, and then a portfolio if you're applying for a design program. That means that you also have to upload these documents to your application on university admissions to be able to be eligible. Some programs also require higher education credits. It's not very common. We don't have many programs that requires that. And if they requires that for late application, it's basically just based on first come, first served. So yeah, as early as you apply, the bigger the chances are to get admitted as a late applicant. So now you know the needed documents. How can I upload them then? Well, first, just a reminder, find out what you need to submit. You can go on to the program page and university admissions. It's two places where you find the information on what documents you need to submit. Then you check country instructions because the country you've been studying in before might have some specific requirements on stamps, other validations that you need to have on the documents. Also, the documents might be needing an official issue. So make sure that the country instructions shows how the documents need to be issued as well. And then you submit them, usually by uploading them to university admissions. But in some cases, you need to send them in by post or have your home university send them by email to university admissions. And if you're on your last year of bachelor studies, you can still apply to Linnaeus University. In that case, you will be conditionally admitted. And then when you're graduating, the conditional admission will be changed to a full admission. For students outside of the European Union, they also have to pay an application fee. This is paid to university admission, so that's not really related to the university itself. And that is for university admissions. This is the national agency handling all the applications to all Swedish universities. It's for them to reviewing your documents and reviewing your application. So they take out the fee, they keep the money, and this is not refundable. And it's a 900 Swedish krona to apply for, and that one covers up to 4 universities. You can pay by credit card or bank transfer, or if you're in Sweden at the moment and have a Swedish bank account, you can pay by Bankgiro. And make sure to pay as early as possible as well. Yeah, we can only review your documents after you have paid the application fee. Then we have some questions that is usually coming up. Do I need to pay the application fee? And then we have some examples here. if I'm a EU or a EEA citizen or a Switzerland citizen, no need to pay the application fee. Then you need to upload documents instead stating your citizenship. So if you have like a passport or some other ID that shows that you're an EU citizen, then it's okay, you don't need to pay. If you're an international student from a non-EU EE country, then you need to pay the application fee. But let's say that you have a residence permit in Sweden already. If you have a residence permit in Sweden already for another reason than studying, then you usually don't need to pay the application fee. If you want to know more, University Admissions has more cases and examples of who needs to pay the application fee and not. So after you uploaded your documents, you made the application, now it's just to sit and wait and follow your application. You follow the application on University Admission as well. You can log in again to the website, and you will see if there is any new messages coming in. You will also get updates sent to your email. So keep your eyes open for updates coming in on your application. And as we said before, for students that has applied in time, 26th of March will be the result for all students applying in time. They will get the selection result for master, and March 31st is the day when bachelor students get their admission letters, or at least the selection result. Hopefully it is admission. When you log in, you will see a merit rating, and then there is quite a lot of different, it usually stands 2 letters and then a number. The number is your merit rating, but then there is also some the letters before. Here is some examples of what that means. AU, alternative selection, that means that we're looking both at your GPA and looking at the other documents, as we said before, like a motivation letter, and then we put them together and give a total score. AM means academic credits, and that usually means that we'll look at your earlier studies and calculate the credits that you've been studying, and you get the score based on that. And then for most of you, if you're applying late, you will have SA, which means late application. And then you have a score with numbers. It's very hard to say what's a good number and what's a low number, because the different selection results and the different programs will have very different scoring and merits, how they grade you. So no matter if you're getting a 10 or a 999, you don't really know how good your score is. So it's very hard to say, but at least you know the merit rating, how you've been graded, and you can, if you have friends that also applied, you can compare it and see how the grades are comparatively. You will also have a status on your application. After you've done everything, the first status is usually in progress, and that means that your application has not been reviewed yet. And after, the review also, I should say, is made by 2 different agencies. First, by the national agency, universityadmissions.se. They make a first review, and then they give a result that they think is the correct review of you. They pass it on to the university, and then each university in Sweden will have their own admission team looking at the first review and either accept it, or they can change it if they think that the national agency has done a mistake. So yeah, after the national agency has reviewed you, they usually put you into one of these 3 categories. Either you're unqualified, and that means that they think that you don't meet the entry requirements of the program. This can change. As I said, if the national agency thinks that you're unqualified, then pass it on to the university. They might look at it, and the admission at the university might think that, no, you are qualified, and they will change it from an unqualified to a qualified student. So it can change. And it's usually changing from unqualified to qualified because the national agency is usually much more conservative and don't want to be too happy with the qualified students, and instead letting the universities be reviewing and changing the cases that's borderline, changing them from unqualified to qualified. Qualified, very simply, means that your application has been reviewed, you meet the entry requirements, and if there is still seats in the program that you have applied for, if you're applying for a late application, you will be admitted. If there is no seats left, then you will be in a queue called reserved, and then if students is canceling their application or saying no to their seats, you might be able to get in based on your place in the queue. Conditionally qualified, very similar to qualified, and it basically means the same thing, but with one criteria that you have to finish something. Like there's something in the review that has said, like, for example, you're studying your last year of bachelor, so you need to make sure that you finish that one before you start the program. You can still get admitted, you can still start applying for visa, even though you're conditionally qualified or conditionally admitted, just that you probably have to come with some documents and upload some documents before you start studies in the autumn. Yeah, so just a little checklist about what to think about as well, and what we've been talking about so far. Go to university admission, look at the programs that is there. Is there a program that I'm interested in? Is it open still for late application? If so, you can still apply for it. Also look at what are the entry requirements. You look both at university admissions for the country-specific requirement, and you can look at the program page where you can see more on the selection criteria. Do I need to send in a statement of purpose, motivation letter, etc.? And make sure that you have that you meet all of the entry requirements, then you can make an application. Submit the documents, pay your application fee as soon as possible, because right now for late applications, it's first come, first served to get admitted. And then you can go online after and follow up with the application, see how it's going. Is my status changing? As soon as it is, you know that something has been going on with your application and someone has been reviewing it. So just some other information and good information to know. Tuition fees for our programs are as follow, and it differs a little bit program to program, but in general, humanities, social science, business is 125,000 Swedish krona per year. Natural sciences and engineering and IT is 175,000 Swedish krona per year. And then design and music is 320,000 Swedish krona per year. So just good to know for the students that need to pay tuition fees, and that is students from outside of European Union. And unfortunately, there is no scholarships available for late applications. We have a lot of scholarships available, but it's only for students that is making an application on time. So if you want to get scholarship, then you have to wait until next year and do the application before January 15th next year, because our scholarship application is already closed for this year, and late applications do not have a chance to get the scholarship. Just to wrap this up, here we have some useful links if you're interested in knowing more about Linnaeus University. I would really recommend you to chat with our students if you have some more questions that you would like to ask the students, that you can do on lnu.se/en/chat. And also, we will have some upcoming webinars. So if you're making an application, just know that 5th of March, we will have an update on what's happening with my application. So if you made an application by then, you have a chance to join a webinar where the admission office will be talking about what they're doing at the moment and what's going on with all the applications, and the statuses that they have put on your applications. And then also, if you're applying and waiting for the result, you can also go for a pre-admission webinar, start preparing for coming on March 19. So there is some upcoming webinars as well, where I hope to see you all. And if you cannot wait until then, you want to get more of the Linnaeus University information, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So feel free to go there and learn a lot more about the university and life in Sweden. I saw that lately we've had some new updates on the amazing buns that we were eating right now, because we had quite a big celebration here in Sweden a few days ago where we were eating the semla, a very traditional sweet here in Sweden. So if you want to look more at that, feel free to go on our website and learn more. And that's all I had. Sophia, I've seen that you've been quite busy in the chat. Has there been any specific questions coming in?
Yeah, I just want to also say that if you guys want to know more about the university, please you can check out our YouTube page, so that we also have some information and videos there. So it's going to be really nice. And then about questions, I think that we cover all of them. I will see if I can find one. Is any in particular, Elena?
I think one question was if there is any deadline for late application, because you've only mentioned that it's first come, first serve.
Yeah, we will probably close. I don't think it's guaranteed that everything will be closed by April 15, but usually most programs are closing April 15th. So after April 15th, it will basically not be any programs available anymore.
Okay.
If you can say something more about what is happening with the scholarships in late application. I know that we don't have, but it's a question.
Unfortunately, we don't have any scholarship for late applications. So it's only available for applications in time. So if you're interested in scholarship, you would have to make the application in time, and that means that every year the in-time application closes January 15th, and you have to have uploaded all the documents by February 1st. If it doesn't end up on a weekend, like this year, February 1st was on a weekend, and then we extended it one day, so February 2nd was the last day to upload the documents this time.
I think that we covered all the questions.
I think so too.
I cannot find another one.
Okay, yeah, that's very good. Thanks all of you for coming, and hope that you got some more information on late application. And if you're interested in learning more about Linnaeus University, as I said, you can go on YouTube and you can find all the earlier webinars where we've been talking more about the university and how to make an application and things like that. And if you want to know more about what's going on, follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And until I meet you next time, have a good day, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone.